If you guys do enjoy a video like this where, I keep you guys up to date on all the latest news for Arc Raiders and even Battlefield 6, definitely drop a like and comments down below on what you think about the expedition. So we're going to be talking about in this video. They dropped some of the permanent unlocks and some of the temporary buffs you may acquire from doing this expedition. And I'm not sure if it's just really worthwhile for me, personally, in my opinion, because we got a Raider outfit that's going to be permanent, Scrappy, Janitor Cap, Expeditions, Indicator Icon, skill points based on stash value, and an extra 12 spots in your stash. Now, when I think about this, I'm giving up all the stuff from my gear benches. Those are all going to be reset to level 1. If I did do this expedition, I would lose all my blueprints. You lose like every single thing, because the way it seemed like this was marketed as more of a prestige mode, something along the lines of, kind of like you prestige, you get to keep a handful of things or at least a decent amount. So where it doesn't feel like a full reset, but now out of nowhere, it feels like it's just like a full wipe. They were very vague about this for a while, honestly. And the fact that we just found out this information about the permanent temporary buffs, differences between which ones we're going to keep and not keep, that is insane. I think that's crazy because, like, what if I wanted to know exactly how much extra stash space or skill points I was going to acquire? And what if I was interested? Now it's going to be obviously way too late to do everything required unless I put like crazy hours into the game. So I feel like they should have been more upfront with how this expedition worked. And I feel like they should definitely make it a bit easier or less, at least less time consuming, because wiping already sucks already. Losing those blueprints, losing the gear bench levels, even if you know how to farm those, RNG is going to play the biggest role. And with blueprints not dropping as much as they did back in like maybe a few weeks ago, because I think they changed it because I used to get a lot of blueprints. Now I don't find them that often. So it's just not worth it for me. I'm just not sure if it's worth it for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. But these feel like very like minor, rewards, especially for all the work you got to put into, and also with the skill points. According to most sources, it's saying that each million coins you get will equal up to a skill point, pretty much. So it's like 1 million for an extra skill point, which is like if you're grinding and you got like 6-7 million in there, plus all the stuff you're donating already, is it really worth it to you? I mean, if it is, if you guys see yourself playing this game as much as you have been for the first month, I mean, definitely go for it. Some people get bored of being level 75, not having anything to look forward to. And if this is for you, definitely go for it. My job in the video is just to inform you on exactly what you're keeping forever and what is temporary. So, I'd rather you guys know so you don't make a mistake. Some people thought the rewards were going to be better or all these things are going to be permanent. And now they found out it's not, like days before launch, of the expedition. So I think they should have been, they should have either held back this launch window a lot longer until they got the info out to us or just been straightforward with us, a month ago so people could have already known. But here are the temporary buffs. 10% on repair buff, like for your weapon repairs, 5% XP boost, plus 6% scrappy materials. Now the wipe window has been, I believe, delayed by a week or two. Now it will be December 17th to the 22nd. Opt in or grind on, your call, it says. So those are going to be the temporary buffs. Now, I don't like that because these permanent buffs, if they were stacking, right? Think about it like this. If we did, let's say, 3 or 4 of them, and now our account has like 15 to 20% extra XP gains, these wipes don't feel as bad because we're leveling up so much faster than, a brand new account would. So I feel like those being permanent would be beautiful. Especially imagine you first start out and you got 15% extra, scrappy materials. Now you're not going to have to waste time like you did when you first got the game and picking up a bunch of, just the basic materials, like rubber parts, metal parts, things to, craft, ammo, armor, bandages, whatever the case in point may be. And the repair buffs, maybe you can make those permanent, but like the permanent stack is a lot smaller compared to the temporary one. I don't know, something like that. You could make it like an extra 3 or 4%, but I feel like what do you lose with having people repairing their weapons very easily or faster than others if they're wiping out like almost every, seasonal update or every few months? I feel like they should be rewarded as players, giving up everything they got, and yeah, I feel like they should be rewarded for it, but that's just more my opinion on that. It says the buff powers will increase for the next 3 months. I'm not sure what this outfit looks like. I don't think we've seen anything official from Embark Studios showing this outfit. It better be one hell of an outfit, because if I'm giving up every single thing I owned and grinded for, some of these things like the gear benches, things are really annoying to find. Maybe you got through it very fast, but you gotta remember that was at a point in time where people were friendly. Now people are shooting each other on sight pretty much in every game mode, whether it be solos or duos or trios. So now getting into those higher loot value areas is going to be significantly harder. So trying to find those, smaller items that are only in those places for your gear bench upgrades, it's just going to be significantly harder. So, you know, Scrappy Janitor Cap is also a permanent unlock. Oh, they were talking about literally like a hat. I was wondering what that was. I wonder what the expedition icon's really gonna look like. And I mean, this it just sounds very minimal because I'm thinking like, man, I'm giving up everything. Like I've only put in about 50 hours. I have most of like the meta blueprints that most people would like. I believe I have the Renegade, the Venator. What else do I have? Oh, I also somehow pulled the Tempest like in one of these houses on damn Battlegrounds. It was on like a night raid, so I just don't feel like giving that up for very minimalistic upgrades. Like me, I'm the type of player, I know what type of guns and builds I'm gonna run. I'm gonna have my looting augments for when I'm running solos, my combat for when I'm running with my friends, and or running with new people, randoms, whatever. And that's what that will be for. And as far as my gun selection, maybe some Renegades, Venators, and Tempest, probably not like often. You know, maybe I'll probably, since I don't have the Bobcat, I'll probably do like the Stitcher 4. Because, man, I've seen some videos of people with a Stitcher 4 with like a, what is it called? A kinetic converter attachment and like an extended mag. Bro, that gun shreds. So I'm not really going to be crafting all types of guns all the time. So I feel like the right now I have 280. I feel like I could still, use that stash and have no issues for the most part. I have tons of stacks of everything I need for, the basic crafting as far as in my armor and shield rechargers, bandages, things like that. Pretty much have stacks and stacks of that. So, any extra things I usually sell or I just save if it's to craft like, like one of those guns I just listed. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. And I could still have a lot of fun just helping new players, get whatever guns they want, blueprints, running with friends. I could still have fun being max level and not really having anything to really chase. I'm not a guy that's really doing quests and everything like that. I don't really care about those. In my opinion, of course, some people are completionists where, they want to do every quest, they want to do every challenge. And yeah, I respect y'all because, man, them things is just not easy to do. And they're time consuming as well. I play some other games, so I know I'm not going to be able to dedicate the time it takes to do constant expeditions every few months. So, man, that's my breakdown. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. I'll catch y'all in the next video.